So we're going to take a look back at how our adventures all started.
Yeah, kind of a blast of the past. We'll get to that right after this.
Well, it's interesting because in the intro I said it's how it all started, but it's not really how it all started. This is a few years later.
Right, so 1991. Now you got to realize to have a good video, first of all, you have to have a video camera. So our first video camera was big, cumbersome, and didn't go on a whole lot of vacations. You also have to shoot meaningful material. And we finally learned how to do that by the time we got to 1991. And a trip epic enough to be captured. So it all came together in this vacation. We had, as you're going to see, we crossed the entire United States.
Yes. In a month's time.
In 1 month.
Yeah.
Staying maybe one day at each spot after we got there. So like 2-night turnarounds every place we went. We shot
with little ones.
I'm guessing we had over 30 plus hours of raw footage.
That's a lot of footage.
I finally got an editing system. I have that in my comments below that I finally edited it down to a 2-hour, 10-minute video, which you're not going to see.
Home movies, people.
Yeah, so this is a 15-minute Reader's Digest version of that, and yes, you're welcome.
And when you think about it, Aaron was, when we started that trip, he was 5.5 months old.
And 6.5.
And 6.5 when we got home.
So enough of talking about it, let's take a look.
Here we go.
I had this camera that did these funky little slides, so you'll see those periodically throughout. But take a quick look at the timestamp, 12:25 p.m. I got in the habit of leaving as soon as Dawn was ready. It would take her half the day to get ready to go. So I would get in the truck, no matter what time. We would drive to maybe 3 hours out of town. And in this case, we wound up in a little town called Tonopah, Arizona.
For now, Amber. Anything else?
Aaron, you ready?
Got to check out that 80s hair. Oh my gosh. And the glasses. Yes, the glasses and the hair.
Okay, Aaron, we're going. Aaron's trying and he's Here we are in beautiful downtown Tonopah. As you can see, the RV park is practically jam-packed full.
And of course, Dad jokes all the time.
Else here, I think. What do you think of Tonopah?
Very empty.
This is Tonopah, Arizona. This is the highlight of the vacation. This place is normally jam-packed this time of year.
Yeah, I cannot resist.
All right, there's crayons on the floor already. Coloring books.
I still go through those looks from Dawn even today.
I want this place straightened up now.
Here it comes. There it is.
You could die for this, you know.
Where'd it go?
So this was an epic trip. We covered so many states all across the South. Epic 1-month vacation. How often? It was a rare sight that we'd be able to do that, but it was fast paced. So you kind of check the timestamps that'll happen periodically. We only stayed maybe 1 or 2 days in each location until we got to Disney World. We were there for a week. Cool thing is we got there right as the bats started to fly, so we got a great view of the bat migration out of Carlsbad Caverns. And you might notice a lot of similarities from our last summer's travels to this summer of '91. This is Fredericksburg, Texas. We hit a lot of the same stops this last year. Things have changed. Some have, some haven't.
Oh, Dad.
Oh, it opens up down here. Let's go see. Okay, we just found some steps. What does this say? This is life in the creek. Wait a minute. You got water snakes, Rio Grande frogs, crayfish. There they are. Those are crawdads.
Daddy, please.
Bullfrogs, yellow med turtles. Isn't this neat through here?
Yeah.
Gosh, this is great. Wait till Mom sees this. She'll wonder where in the heck we shot this footage. We're just outside the LBJ Ranch, somewhere around here. Back in the 60s, these woods were probably crawling with Secret Servicemen in wingtip shoes. Are we lost yet?
No. White trail deer.
That's definitely not a deer.
Those things are huge.
Those are Texas longhorns.
Is there enough light?
Yeah, plenty of light. Gosh, Mom wanted to see longhorns. She's missing it. This tree looks like it is full of knots. Look at that. Look at those.
Looks like my hair.
Yeah, especially after a day in this weather. Yep, that looks the same. Yeah, what? You,
Dig up through there.
yeah. See, you didn't want to cross.
Of course, what's a trip to the Alamo without asking the basement question?
Amber, I do have a question for you.
What?
Where is the basement?
If you are ever in San Antonio, that river walk boat ride is really cool. A lot of great history that they tell you should ride through that as well. And our old jamboree, yep, that's at the Fredericksburg campground still. Getting ready to move on, and guess what? We are now in Houston. What's a trip through Houston without torrential rainfall? Our first experience, though. So next, heading across the swamps into Louisiana. Over the bridge into Baton Rouge. It was so humid that the camera lens would fog up a lot. Now, this last summer we didn't take a gator swamp tour, but we did this year, and it was quite nice. I do recommend get a covered boat if you do the swamp tour, because it does rain out there a lot, and people who weren't in the covered boats got soaked. New Orleans is definitely a fun town. I did have my first attempt of eating crawdads. I've since gotten better at it. Interesting thing with the Fort Wilderness reservation, however, we did not have reservations for Fort Wilderness. But back in that time, I was one of the only people on the road who actually had a cellular phone, not a cell phone, but a cellular phone. As we were approaching, I thought, there's got to be cancellations. So we called ahead and we got in and were able to stay our entire time in the Fort Wilderness campground. Unfortunately, everybody has cell phones now, so that doesn't work as well as it used to. 3D. Yeah, this was back when they had that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids land. And Ninja Turtles. After all, it is 1991. They also had a backlot tram ride, similar to what Universal Studios did. You had the Disaster Canyon and everything. That is no longer there. And one of my favorites, the Spectacular Movie Ride, has now been replaced with Mickey's Runaway Train. A lot of the other pavilions have since changed. In fact, there's hardly anything from those original days there. Gotta love the hat and the glasses, you know. The original Figment ride with Dreamfinder. Oh man, they should bring that back. And that play zone they had at the end was really a lot of fun. How many of you remember the Rainbow Tunnel? Some things don't change a lot, except for styles. Gotta love the shorty shorts and the high socks. Presidents ended with George Bush Sr. Mom trying to cool Chris off. Those fountains were cool too. Unfortunately, those are no longer there either. So moving on, we wound up in St. Augustine again. That is such a cool historic town. And does anybody remember Opryland in Nashville? No longer there, long since been gone, but what a cool place that was. A lot of music, a lot of rides, but it is no more. We stopped off in Arkansas. I had a cousin that lived up in Mountain Home at the time, had a tea room, so we got to check that out. And they were not far from a lake up there, and we were able to play out on the lake for the day. They had a pontoon boat out there. And while we were there, we thought, what the heck, let's rent a jet ski. So
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not quite sure where this old mill was, but I think we're still in Arkansas, is the best I can figure. Because this is Quitman, Arkansas. The Catfish Seafood Restaurant actually belonged to relatives of mine. And now we are in Texas. I have an aunt and an uncle that lived there at the time. And again, they lived on a lake and they had their own pontoon boat. And of course, what is a lake house without ducks? Of course, they didn't want anything to do with Chris. Checking out the local museum in town. I think it was an oil well museum. Huge storm off ahead as we're heading our way into Albuquerque. Final stretch.
This is Old Town Albuquerque. I wonder if we should make a left turn. We hit a storm that kind of washed out the road.
Big hair.
Yeah,
You like the big hair?
I told you it was an epic trip. Yeah, very
Big hair,
epic trip.
big glasses.
Yeah, so hopefully you liked our family outing, and definitely give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscription button.
And hit that bell, and every time we post every Sunday at 2
2 o'clock.
we'll let you know.
And I'm almost even embarrassed to say, but I do plan on getting the website caught up. I looked at it the other day.
I know.
And I thought, oh my gosh, we are so far behind. But www.ourroadtocamelot.com.
And I will catch up the Facebook and Instagram.
Or at least start over with this new
Start
travels.
over with the new travels,
Yes.
yeah.
So until next time, safe travels.
Sláinte.